Welcome to this explainer. We're going to act as your savvy navigator today, guiding you through the absolute essentials of the Idaho Driver's Handbook. Whether you're a brand new driver eagerly eyeing that driver's seat for the first time, or an experienced motorist who just moved to the state, mastering these rules isn't just about passing a test. It's about survival, safety, and smoothly handling whatever the road throws at you. So let's buckle up and translate these official statutes into the practical knowledge you actually need.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at getting your license, acing the skills test, checking your vehicle equipment, decoding signs and signals, and navigating intersections and the rules of the road.
First up, getting your Idaho license. Let's talk credentials.
Honestly, just think about driving down an incredible mountain highway. That freedom is exactly why you're putting in all this effort. But your life and the safety of your family, friends, and everyone else out there really depends on you understanding the rules before you hit those scenic routes. With more motorists than ever sharing Idaho's highways, it is absolutely crucial to drive defensively and, frankly, use some common sense. And obviously, the very first step to enjoying that freedom is actually securing your license.
When you apply, you'll have to make a choice between a standard non-star card or the star card. Now, the star card is just Idaho's version of the federal Real ID. It's totally optional right now, but mark your calendars because starting May 7th, 2025, you are absolutely going to need a star card or another compliant document like a passport if you want to fly commercially or enter a federal building like a military base. So if you're planning to fly out of Boise anytime after that date, getting the star card is definitely the way to go.
Let's talk money. You've got some options for a standard Class D non-commercial license. If you're 21 or over, a 4-year license will run you $35, but an 8-year license is $60. Locking in that 8-year option saves you a little cash and spares you an extra trip to the DMV, which is always a win. Oh, and here's a great pro tip tucked away in the handbook. If you're eligible to renew online, you actually get a $5 discount.
Now, if you're under 17, things work a bit differently. You'll go through the Graduated Driver's License, or GDL program. Idaho really wants to make sure young drivers get plenty of experience behind the wheel. You have to complete a minimum 6-month, completely violation-free supervised instruction period. During that time, you need to log at least 50 hours of supervised driving, and 10 of those hours must be at night. And here's the kicker. If you get convicted of violating any traffic laws during this period, your permit is canceled and that 6-month clock starts all over again, no exceptions.
Okay, moving on to part 2, acing the skills test, the physical exam.
So, you've got your permit, you did the practice hours. But what exactly will send you packing before you even finish the driving route? Passing means getting 12 or fewer general errors, sure, but there is a whole category of mistakes that the examiners are entirely unforgiving about. We're talking about critical driving errors. A single one of these high-stakes mistakes means your test is over immediately. It's an automatic fail. We're looking at things like dangerous actions that could cause a crash, blowing past a traffic sign or signal, striking an object, speeding, or driving up onto the curb or sidewalk. And, get this, a habitual violation, which just means missing 5 or more of the exact same scored skill, also triggers a critical error. So, stay focused, stay calm, and whatever you do, keep those tires off the curb.
Up next, Section 3, Vehicle Equipment and Safety.
You really have to maintain the essential components of your car. By law, your vehicle needs 2 functioning brake systems. Your headlights? They have to let you see at least 100 feet ahead on low beams and 350 feet on high beams. What about your tires? You need at least 2/32 of an inch of tread. Even your horn is regulated. It has to be loud enough to be heard 200 feet away, but unreasonably loud or harsh sounds are strictly prohibited. Every single component we're talking about here is a literal lifesaver. And if you're driving with precious cargo, the rules are understandably stricter. Automobile crashes are a leading cause of death for American children. To combat this, Idaho law specifically requires that anyone carrying children 6 years of age or younger in a non-commercial vehicle has to use federally approved child safety seats. Furthermore, safety experts strongly recommend that all children younger than 13 always ride in the back seat. I really can't stress this next part enough. Idaho law requires all occupants to wear safety belts if the vehicle is equipped with them. Why is this such a big deal? Because studies by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration show that wearing a seatbelt reduces your chances of serious injury by 50%. Even more wild, they are up to 70% effective in preventing fatalities. Plus, they physically keep you in your seat, helping you maintain control of your car on winding roads or if you have to swerve suddenly. Buckling up is literally the single most effective choice you can make. All right, Section 4, Signs, Signals, and Markings. Let's decode the road.
These classic regulatory signs dictate the right-of-way, and misunderstanding them is a massive cause of collisions. When you come up to a red octagonal stop sign, you must come to a complete stop at the clearly marked stop line. No rolling stops. If there isn't a line, you stop before the crosswalk. Now, a yield sign means you need to slow down and, if necessary, stop entirely to give the right-of-way to other vehicles and pedestrians. These aren't just suggestions, they are rigid commands designed to keep everyone flowing safely without colliding.
Okay, let's look at this newer crossing beacon sequence that definitely confuses some drivers. It's called the pedestrian hybrid beacon, or sometimes a hawk signal. Unlike a normal traffic light, this thing remains completely unlit until a pedestrian actually pushes the button. Then, it flashes yellow to warn drivers to slow down, changes to a solid yellow to tell you to prepare to stop, and finally turns to double solid red lights, which means you absolutely must stop. After the pedestrians cross, those red lights flash alternately, letting you know you can proceed as long as the crosswalk is completely clear.
Finally, Section 5, Rules of the Road. Let's talk about railroad crossings. Take a second to consider the sheer scale of the danger here. That massive number, 7,000, that's the stopping distance in feet for a 150-car freight train traveling at 50 miles per hour. That is 1 1/3 miles just to come to a complete halt. A train cannot swerve, and it absolutely cannot stop quickly for you. The chance of death or serious injury in a collision between a train and a motor vehicle is 40 times greater than for other highway crashes. This is exactly why you have to stop within 50 feet, but no less than 15 feet from the nearest rail when lights are flashing. Never, ever proceed across tracks until it's absolutely safe to do so. So, we've covered the crucial steps to securing your license, the high standards of the skills test, maintaining your vehicle, and deciphering the language of the road. The journey is out there waiting for you, but the final responsibility rests completely in your hands. These rules aren't just there to help you pass a test. They are the invisible lines keeping chaos at bay out on the highway. So, the next time you slide into the driver's seat, ask yourself, are you just operating a machine, or are you actively defending your life? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and stay safe out there.